Hey everybody, Rob Alwin here. And I want to start off with an incredible story. It's called Rescue at Sea. Years ago, in a small fishing village in Holland, a young boy taught the world about the rewards of unselfish service. Because the entire village revolved around the fishing industry, a volunteer rescue team was needed in cases of emergency. One night, the winds raged, the clouds burst, and a gale-force storm capsized a local fishing boat at sea. Stranded and in terrible trouble, the crew sent out the SOS. The captain of the rescue rowboat team sounded the alarm, and the villagers assembled in the town square overlooking the bay. While the team launched their rowboat and fought their way through the wild waves, the villagers waited restlessly on the beach, holding their lanterns to light the way back. An hour later, the rescue boat reappeared through the fog, and the cheering villagers ran to greet them. Falling to the ground, exhausted on the sand, the volunteers reported that the rescue boat could not hold any more passengers, and they had to leave one man behind, clinging for his life. Even one more passenger would have surely capsized the rescue boat, and all would have been lost at sea. Frantically, the captain called for another volunteer team to go after the lone survivor. 16-year-old Hans stepped forward. His mother grabbed his arm, pleading, "Please don't go. Your father died in a shipwreck 10 years ago, and your older brother Paul has been lost at sea for 3 weeks. Hans, you are all that I have left. Don't go." Hans replied, "Mother, I have to go. What if everyone said, I can't go? Let someone else do it." "Mother, this time I have to go. When the call for service comes, we all need to take our turn and do our part." Hans kissed his mother, joined the team, and disappeared into the night. Another hour passed, which seemed to Hans' mother like an eternity. Finally, the small rescue boat darted through the fog, with Hans standing up on the bow. Cupping his hands, the captain called, "Did you find the lost man?" Barely able to contain himself, Hans excitedly yelled back, "Yes, we found him. Tell my mother, it's my older brother, Paul." True story. Folks, there's times when the world needs servant leaders. There's times when the world is going to ask you to go lead, to go fight, to go out into what looks like danger, to go outside of the uncomfortable. What a great, great story. What if that 16-year-old didn't go back out there? The brother they had probably thought was never coming home, 3 weeks lost at sea, was found because someone else was lost. I want to ask you something. How many people in your sphere of influence, in your family, in your friends, in and out of your circle of life with the people you're doing life with, how many people are lost? They're wandering. They don't have a real purpose. They're just living to see another day. They need us to reach out to them and to ask them what their dream is and to share hope. Tonight, my topic is the power of intention. Do you know that your intentions could be powerfully terrible or they can be powerfully awesome? We get to decide the quality and the caliber of the intention. So when we talk about intentions, we are talking only about pure intentions. I want to read to you the definition of intention. An aim or plan. A person's designs. An aim or plan. A person's designs. So, since we're talking about your aim, since we're talking about your plan, and since we are talking about your personal design, it just got real. It just got very intimate. It just got very important. So I want to ask you some questions. How intentional are you about succeeding in your one and only life? Is it important to you to be a success? First, you got to decide what that means to you. By no means am I talking about money. I am talking about life, succeeding as a lover, as a giver, as a friend, as a person in your community, as a person in your church, as a person that lives in your state, as a person that lives in your country. Are you intentional about being a contributing, intentional, succeeding person? When you wake up, do you have that good intention? I'm starting it off with prayer. And then I'm moving from prayer to thanksgiving. And then I'm moving into massive action to what is important to me. I want you to be intentional with your relationship with God. Intentional with your relationship with God. It's time to make it more devoted. It's time to take it deeper. It's time to be very, very purely intentional about walking with God and grabbing a hold of God's power and God's heart and God's vision and God's desires for your life and transcend where you're at. Some of us, we get stuck. We need God's help. I want you to be intentional with your marriage. If you're a guy, start treating, if you're not already, your wife like a queen. Open the door. Tell her that she's hot, even if you're 103. It's time to be intentional with our affection. It's time to be intentional with our respect. It's time to be intentional with making eye contact. It's time to be physically intentional, holding hands, spending time together, going to the movies, riding in the car with your arm around your spouse. It's time to be intentional in that connectivity, in that marriage. It's time to be intentional about your career, your job, your profession. One of the things that I don't like sometimes is that in our industry, they put down jobs, they put down careers, and they put down traditional businesses, and I don't understand that. I don't know, I guess maybe they're trying to brainwash you that the only thing that can be wonderful is your business opportunity. I want every area of your life to be fascinating, exceptional, incredible, worthwhile, fun, gets your full attention. I want you to crush it in your job, career, profession, or traditional business. I don't want you only thinking about life-wise. I want you thinking about all the things that are important in your life. I want you to be intentional with your family, spending time with them, staying connected to them, praying for them, and cherishing them. I want you to be intentional with your participation with your church. And if you don't have a good church, I'm just going to tell you this. Maybe some of us bar hopped at one point in our life. You bopped around until you found that bar that was a lot of fun for you and it had the kind of people that you felt comfortable with. You're going to do the same thing with church. You're going to bounce around all the local churches so they could be convenient for you to hopefully not have to drive too far, and you could be connected with people that are around you. And if that one's not your speed, you go check out the next one. And if that one was too serious, go find one that's a little more lighthearted. If that one didn't seem serious enough to you, keep bouncing around like you did when you were 21, going to different bars on a Saturday night. There were some nights where some of you, not saying any names, hit 3 or 4 different places trying to find the spot. Most important thing is this, that you find a church that loves the Lord and that will encourage you to be loving and to fall in love with Christ Jesus as your Lord and Savior. Okay? That's the most important thing. I want you to be intentional about your community. Are you involved? Are you involved in your community, or do we just complain? When you drive by trash on the side of the road, do you pull over and pick it up? Maybe you got a nice riding lawnmower. When you see that the yard down the street from you, 4 houses down on the left, hasn't had their yard mowed in the last 4 months, and it's 2 feet tall, and it's middle of summer, and it looks horrific. What you don't know is that someone who lives there might be fighting for their life with cancer. What you don't know is that someone who lives there might be depressed and they don't even feel like fooling with that grass. What you don't understand is maybe the person that's there lost their job and doesn't have the $4 it costs to go get a gallon of gas to even fire up the mower. What you don't know is that person's maybe going through a marital problem. They're curled up in a ball praying to God to save their marriage. Quit judging. Grab your mower, zip over there and mow their yard. Care about your community. Love your community. Be involved. Be intentional. And lastly, how intentional are you about LifeWise? How important is LifeWise to the big picture of your life? How intentional are you to writing down your 100 dreams that you've heard me talk about 1,000 times? How intentional are you to putting samples in your wallet or your purse or the glove box of your car so that when you're out and about, you can share your seed? How intentional are you in that farming process? How intentional are you? Every time I share, I'm following up because that's my intention. That's how I roll. How intentional are you? This is the simplest thing in the world. Get involved for free, buy one product, find 4 customers. Are you intentional that if one of your customers doesn't want to promote it, that you're just going to go find another customer to bless and pray to God that they want to be a partner and go out there and share hope with their friends and their family? How intentional are you with sharing our 6-star opportunity? How intentional are you in not leaving anyone out? If I asked you to hand me your phone and I started at A and I went to Z and I simply said to you, hey, listen, did you talk to Alex? How about Alicia? How about Alice? How about Albert? Oh, who's Alicia? Oh, she used to do my nails. Have you shared samples with her? No, I haven't talked to her in like 5 years. Do you realize that there are people that were placed in your life at different times in your life so that you could circle back and share with them hope? Ask them what their dream is. Share samples with them. Help them to have a better cup of coffee. I love to be full throttle. I love it. I'm not a coffee drinker, so I love caffeine. What was I drinking? Crappy, terrible for my liver, terrible for my kidneys, terrible for the chemistry of my body, energy that I wanted and I was willing to compromise. And that killed Dr. Gibbs. He's like, bro, you're my partner. You're the CEO of our company and you're drinking trash. I'm going to make you the best energy drink available in the world. Well, how many friends do you got drinking trash? How many friends do you got drinking unhealthy, highly acidic coffee, which is potentially doing damage to their body as well? How many people do you know that have a prescription drug instead of the dream to have a good night's sleep? I'm just telling you, how intentional are you with being a solution to your friends? And you know what? Some of them are financially sick. They don't have $2 to rub together. They're already feeling anxious that Christmas is around the corner and Thanksgiving is going to require a $200 meal. They're already getting anxious. We need to help our friends be whole. So how intentional are you to helping them to have a financial income on the side? Maybe their only retirement. How intentional are you? Intentions affect our outcomes. Intentions affect our outcomes. It's going to take honest, sincere, authentic intentions to attract your team. It's going to take time, effort, and struggle, hard work, patience, and devotion. It's going to take right intentions. Repeat after me. I intend to succeed. I intend to win at the highest levels. I intend to grow into the person that God intended me to be, because God went to all the trouble to die on the cross for my sins so that I could ultimately win. I intend to be healthy. I intend to be wealthy. I intend to be wise. I intend to be happy. I intend to be useful. I intend to be purposeful. And I intend to be close to my family, my friends, my Lord, my community, and my team. I'm going to be intentional about my rescue mission. I'm fighting for my family and my friends. I'm going to send out life rafts. I'm going to go help the helpless. I'm going to go help those that need encouragement. I'm going to go break the chains of mediocrity with the people that I love. And I'm not leaving nobody out. Folks, in conclusion, if you did not know, today is First Responders Appreciation Day. You don't see it too much on any of the news channels, but I need you to send a text to a first responder and say, I appreciate you. Thanks for doing what you do. So anyway, thank a first responder. God bless you. Thank you for being in the locker room. Good night, everyone.